10 quiet wealth habits that most Americans never hear about. Channel intro. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is your home for long-term wealth creation. And we believe that health is the very first and most important wealth you'll ever have. So we talk about both, building a healthy body and building a wealthy life. Because one without the other, honestly, doesn't mean much. Let's get into it. Video intro. Okay, picture this. There's a guy, drives a beat-up 2003 Honda Civic. Nothing fancy. Simple clothes, no designer brands, nothing flashy at all. His neighbor walks over one day and says, "Man, you work so hard. Why don't you get yourself a nice car?" The guy just smiles, doesn't say a word. You know what's sitting in his bank account? For $0.7 million. That smile, that silence, that right there is the first habit. But we're going to come back to that one at number 10, because today I'm walking you through 10 habits that a very specific group of wealth builders follow. A community in India called the Baniyas. These are generational merchants, traders, and business families who have quietly built enormous wealth for centuries. And no, this isn't your typical save more, invest more personal finance content. These are deep, behavioral habits that build wealth quietly, invisibly, and permanently. And I genuinely believe every American can apply every single one of these, starting today. Let's go. Chapter 1. Habit number 10. Wealth doesn't drive a Ferrari. Let's start at number 10. And this one is gonna flip how you think about money almost immediately. The core Baniya rule is this: wealth is invisible. Real wealth does not announce itself. Old car, simple clothes, modest home. No brand names unless they're truly necessary. And before you say, "Well, that sounds boring," let me hit you with a real study. A well-known survey of American millionaires, over a large sample, found that 71% of millionaires drive cars that cost under $40,000. Think about that. The guy next door who's driving a Tesla Model S with a lease payment eating up his paycheck every month, versus the quiet neighbor in a paid-off Toyota Camry who's stacking index funds. One looks wealthy. One is wealthy. In America right now, there's an entire culture built around looking rich. The Instagram flex, the leased luxury car, the designer sneakers that cost $500. And the cruel irony is, all of that actually makes you poorer. Because every dollar you spend performing wealth is a dollar that isn't compounding for you. The Baniya rule is sharp and simple. Money goes where it grows, not where it shows. Next time you feel the urge to upgrade your lifestyle, just so people can see it, ask yourself, who exactly am I performing for? And what is it costing me? Chapter 2. Habit number 9. Every dollar has a job. All right, number 9. And this one is a mindset shift that will change how you look at your bank account forever. A Baniya merchant runs a tight shop. Every single item on that shelf has a purpose. If something isn't earning its place, it doesn't stay on the shelf. Period. And Baniyas apply the exact same logic to every single dollar they own. Here's what that looks like in real life. Money sitting in a regular savings account earning 0.01% interest? That money is not working. It's dying slowly, day by day, because inflation is eating it alive. Every year, the value of idle cash drops by roughly 2 to 3% when you factor in inflation. That's a quiet, invisible tax on laziness. What do smart money managers do instead? They move emergency funds into high-yield savings accounts or money market funds, where you can still access the cash in a day or two. They put short-term savings into treasury bills or short-duration bond funds. They make sure that no dollar is just sitting there being eaten up by inflation. Think of it this way. If your money isn't working for you, then you are working for your money. And that's completely backwards from where you want to be. The Baniya rule here is precise. A dollar that isn't working is a dollar that's losing. Chapter 3. Habit number 8. The 48-hour rule. Number 8. And this one might save you thousands of dollars every single year. Here it is. Any purchase over $100, you wait 48 hours. No exceptions. The sale is ending tonight. Wait. Limited time offer. Wait. Only 3 left in stock. Still wait. Now, this rule isn't about whether you can afford something. It's about the difference between a decision made in excitement and a decision made in calm. And research consistently shows that decisions made in emotional excitement almost always cost more than decisions made with a clear head. Here's the thing that will blow your mind. After 48 hours, 90% of the things you wanted to buy, you will no longer want. The urge fades. The "I need this" feeling dissolves. And that 10% that survives the 48-hour wait, that's a genuine need. That's a real purchase you should make. Think about the last time you bought something impulsively. Maybe it was something you saw on Amazon at midnight. Maybe it was a jacket you didn't need. Maybe it was a kitchen gadget that's still in the box. We've all been there. Americans spend billions of dollars every year on impulse purchases. Black Friday alone drives people into credit card debt, chasing things they didn't plan to buy. The Baniya never buys in the heat of the moment. The question is always, will I still want this tomorrow? 48 hours. That's the rule. Chapter 4. Habit number 7. The loan that kills relationships. Okay, number 7. And this one is uncomfortable. This is the habit that most people hide even from their own families. Here's the Baniya rule on lending money to friends and family. If you lend money with the expectation of getting it back, that money is already gone. Treat it as a gift. If it comes back, great, that's a bonus. If it doesn't come back, you haven't lost the money, and you haven't lost the relationship. Only lend what you can genuinely afford to give away. Now in America, this plays out in painful ways every single day. Brother-in-law needs $10,000 to start a business. Best friend needs $500 to cover rent. College roommate needs $2,000 to get through a rough patch. And it starts with the best intentions. But then the money doesn't come back. And suddenly, Thanksgiving dinner is awkward. The friendship quietly dies. The family holidays get tense. The Baniya insight here is that when money doesn't come back, you're not losing cash. You're losing the relationship. And a relationship is worth far more than any loan amount. So the math is simple. If you can afford to give it freely. If you can't afford to lose it, gently and honestly say, you can't help right now. This isn't ruthless. This is honest. Honest money protects both the dollars and the people you love. Chapter 5. Habit number 6. Get a raise. Tell nobody. Number 6. And this one is so counterintuitive that it might actually frustrate you at first. When a Baniya gets a raise, a promotion, a windfall, the first reaction is silence. For at least 6 months, nobody knows. No new car, no apartment upgrade, no vacation photos on Instagram. Just silence. Why? Because the moment people around you know your income went up, their expectations go up with it. Family starts expecting bigger gifts. Friends start expecting you to pick up the tab more. The lifestyle inflation pressure is real and immediate. In behavioral finance, there's a well-documented phenomenon called lifestyle creep. It's the way spending naturally and quietly expands to match every increase in income. You get a $20,000 raise, and somehow within a year, you're spending an extra $20,000. Nothing improved. You're just living at a higher level to match the new income, and you're no richer than before. The Baniya breaks that cycle by keeping the raise invisible. For 6 months, that extra income goes straight into investments. No one knows. No expectations. No lifestyle expansion. And then, quietly, the wealth compounds. Next time you get a raise, try something radical. Don't post it. Don't celebrate it publicly. Just redirect it. The results will speak for themselves, eventually and loudly. Chapter 6. Habit number 5. Be your own CFO. All right, we're at the halfway point now. Habit number 5. And this is the habit that, statistically, separates people who grow wealth from people who wonder every month where their paycheck went. Every Baniya is their own accountant. Once a month, one dedicated hour, they sit down, open a spreadsheet or a notebook, and they review 3 things. What came in? What went out? What is the net worth right now? And how did it change from last month? That's it. 1 hour. Once a month. Here's the powerful truth about this. Every bank, every corporation, every investment fund on the planet does this. They track every single dollar. The only people who don't are individual middle-class households. And that gap, that difference in financial awareness, is one of the biggest reasons why wealth stays concentrated at the top. In America right now, Studies show that most households have no real idea what their actual monthly expenses are. People guess, and they're usually wrong by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The money bleeds out in subscriptions they forgot about, in small purchases they didn't notice, in fees they never questioned. What gets measured gets managed. That's not a motivational quote. That's a financial law. Set a monthly money date with yourself. Know your numbers, because you cannot grow what you cannot see. Chapter 7. Habit number 4. Never touch the seed. Now we're getting into the habits that create real, compounding, life-changing wealth. Habit number 4. And this is the golden rule. Never touch the principal. Whatever you've invested, whatever that core sum is, it never gets touched. Not for emergencies, not for weddings, not for down payments, not for anything. Only the returns, the growth on top of that principal, can be spent or reinvested. The original amount stays untouched. Let me give you an American example to make this very clear. Say you invest $10,000 in an index fund, and you let it sit for 30 years at an average 8% annual return. That $10,000 becomes just over $100,000. Now, if at year 15 you dip in and pull out $5,000 for an unexpected expense, your ending number drops dramatically. Not by $5,000, by far more, because you lost the compounding on that $5,000 for the remaining 15 years. That's the brutal math of compound interest. One decision to touch the principal doesn't cost you the $5,000. It can cost you $30,000 or $40,000 in lost compounding over time. This is why the Baniya's emergency fund is completely separate from investments. The emergency fund exists so you never have to touch the investments. Two separate buckets, two separate purposes. The principle is poetic and simple. The seed is what becomes the tree. If you eat the seed, there's no tree. Chapter 8. Habit number 3. Always have a second store. Habit number 3. And this one is about financial security in a way that most Americans don't think about until it's too late. No Baniya ever depends on a single source of income. Ever. There's always a second store, a second stream. And it doesn't have to be big. It just has to exist. This could be freelance consulting, a small side business, dividend income from stocks, a rental property, even just a room rented out on Airbnb, a digital product you sell online, a content channel, a part-time service, anything. Now here's where it gets powerful. Let's say you're pulling in an extra $200 a month from a side hustle. That sounds small, right? Almost not worth the effort. But $200 a month, over 12 months, over 10 years, compounded at an average market return, comes out to over $46,000. $46,000 from $200 a month. Boring? Yes. Life-changing? Absolutely. The deeper principle here is about freedom. In America, millions of people live one job loss away from financial crisis, one medical emergency, one company layoff, one economic downturn, and everything falls apart because there's only one stream of income. The Baniya rule is clear. Your first income stream feeds you. Your second income stream frees you. Start small. Start now. Even $50 a month from something on the side is the beginning of a second store. Chapter 9. Habit number 2. Invest before the government takes their cut. Number 2. And this one is pure strategy. This one is about keeping as much of your own money as legally possible. Most Americans invest what's left after taxes and expenses. Baniyas invest before the taxes are ever calculated. Here's what that means in practice. If you're in the 22% federal tax bracket and you max out your 401k contribution of $23,000 this year, you just saved over $5,000 in taxes. Risk-free. No market exposure on that $5,000. Just money the government doesn't get to touch. That goes straight into your retirement account and compounds for decades. Add a Roth IRA on top of that. Add HSA contributions if you have a high-deductible health plan. Those are triple tax-advantaged accounts. You contribute pre-tax, it grows tax-free. And in the case of HSAs, healthcare withdrawals are tax-free too. The smartest financial move in America isn't finding the hottest stock or the next big crypto. It's maximizing every single tax-advantaged account available to you before you invest a single dollar in a taxable brokerage. The Baniya rule here is one of the best in finance. The best investment return is the money the government never got in the first place. Front-load your tax-advantaged accounts every single year, before anything else. Chapter 10. Habit number 1. The habit that makes all the others possible. And here we are. Habit number 1. The master habit. The one that explains and enables every single other habit on this list. This isn't an investment tip. This isn't a tax strategy. This is a mindset shift. And once it happens, it doesn't undo itself. Habit number 1. Never stop learning. A Baniya is always a student, even when the world thinks he knows everything. He is reading more, learning more, studying more. A business book, an online course, a conversation over coffee with someone who knows something he doesn't. These aren't expenses. These are the highest return investments he ever makes. Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor in American history, still spends 80% of his working day reading annual reports, books, newspapers, filings. 80%. Not making calls, not attending meetings, reading. Think about that. The richest investor in history believes the highest value thing he can do with his time is learn. The same principle holds for you. A $50 book can give you an insight that earns you $50,000 over your lifetime. A $500 course can give you a skill set that compounds for decades. Your brain is the one asset that market crashes cannot touch. Your knowledge never loses value in a recession. And here's the beautiful thing about this habit. Once you commit to learning, all the other habits become obvious. You understand why you shouldn't show off your wealth. You understand why every dollar needs a job. You understand why the seed must never be eaten. The knowledge connects everything. The Baniya rule that ties it all together. Put your money in the market. Put your mind in books, because the returns on knowledge never crash. Summary. So let's bring it all home. The Baniya wealth philosophy comes down to one elegant, consistent truth. Wealth is built quietly, over time, through disciplined habits that most people around you will never notice or understand. Don't display it, grow it. Make every dollar work. Wait before you buy. Be careful with who you lend money to. Keep your income increases private. Track your finances yourself. Never touch the principal. Build a second income stream. Front-load your tax advantages. And above everything else, never stop learning. These 10 habits don't require a high income. They don't require a finance degree. They require consistency, patience, and a willingness to play a longer game than the people around you. That's how quiet wealth is built. That's how it's been built for generations. And it's how you can build it too. End credits. Thanks note. Like and subscribe. And that's a wrap on today's video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me here. Seriously, of all the things you could have been doing right now, you chose to invest in your financial education. And that, right there, is already habit number 1 in action. If even one of these 10 habits resonated with you today, do me a favor. Drop a comment down below and tell me which habit you're committing to starting today. Because writing it down makes the commitment real. And a committed action always beats a good intention. If this video gave you value, and I genuinely hope it did, please hit that like button. It helps this video reach more people who need to hear this message. And if you want more content on long-term wealth building, healthy living, and financial habits that actually work, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video. We're building something here, a community of people who take their health and their wealth seriously. I'm so glad you're part of it. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, the best time to start is always right now. See you in the next one.